Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all having a fine evening out there in the States. As usual, morning time over here. So just getting my day started. Had my morning coffee. But yeah, feeling down for continuing this work on making throws work or grabs, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, we're waiting for people to come in. I'm just gonna cover a few different things that I did the last day or two, and maybe a slight review on what we covered in the initial implementation of throws and the kind of the problems that we haven't addressed yet. Um, yeah, so there's something here. Let me move everything around so we know what we're doing here. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. So before I go into all the throw stuff, yay, what's up, Comic Man? Thank you for dropping by. Um, I ran into this bug with our editor where basically trying to change a label was causing let me show you here, was causing the game, not the game, but was writing out strings with a bunch of junk at the end. So like this grab reaction, if I change it to like something, and I saved out the file. Where's our save button? Oh, there it is. I should move this up here. Yeah, save. If I saved it out, what would happen was, I can show you here. Well, I won't show you the bug, but I can show you what's working now. We have the test character. Where's our test character? So you can see now it's properly saying something instead of there was like a bunch of junk that was like whatever. I think that was just like nulled out bytes, and it was copying all the nulled out bytes instead of looking to the end of the string using the null byte. So I think we're good here. It's fixed. I made that change in this change list made it possible. Sorry, fix an issue with the input text. Yeah. So basically, what was happening is I was doing this map copy thing, and I wasn't properly checking to the end of the. I was assuming this was like actually counting up to the null byte, but I'm like, oh, okay, this is SIG. It's not C. What I actually need to do is create a C. Maybe there's a better way to do it, but I create a C string pointer from the edit text, um, and then I use this standard mem length, which will actually count up to the null byte, the sentinel terminating byte, and give me the proper lengths. And then I was able to like create a new string, which is this is going to be a slice, and then I use the allocator to duplicate the string. Now, one issue here I still haven't addressed is we have this allocator that's for our game assets that are just basically it's an allocator that's used for loading up the assets and stuff. So during normal gameplay wouldn't matter. We just clear out that allocator's memory when the match is over. And this you want to be allocating more memory on the fly like this because this is just in the editor. Probably what I need to do though is clear out the memory of the existing string here, deallocate when I'm doing it just for the editor. Maybe recover that memory. I don't think we're gonna actually ever gonna run out of memory by editing strings, but that's just something to keep in mind. I don't know if it's important for this project, but I think it's something that's worth pointing out. Okay, so that happened, and the other thing is another update is now it's possible. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Now it's possible. Let me look at this change here. Yeah, to we only have one character asset loaded right now, but you can actually change the entity you're editing here. So if you, right now it's editing entity number one, I can also, so I can, can I control it? Second entity with my controller? Yeah, I can. So for example, let me show you, let me just do attack right here. My button's not working on this. Which button is attack? Ooh, that's the wrong one. What is this input? Is this Steam? Did Steam give me something I didn't want? Go away, Steam. Okay, gotcha. Stop causing me problems. So sometimes Steam and controllers will be an issue. Okay, there we go. So I don't know why my attack's not coming out though. This controller is weird. Am I missing buttons? Well, anyway, I can show you that I'm in jump, and if we're in like collapse this, you can see that we're in jump now. But if I switch over to player number one, it's in standing action. This just shows you the current active action, and of course the character asset here will be editable. That's just that. That's just the change I wanted to cover. Oh, and lost the other controller. That's important. Okay. All right, there's that chain. And that was that. Now we have a few people in the stream. Maybe I can start off on the rest of the stuff. Just like in a quick, let me revert this change because obviously you don't want that change to stick around. Discard changes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So getting back into our stream now. So like, there's a few problems, right? Like with the throw implementation we have now, and I can just let me just demonstrate that real quick. Alrighty. So, make sure I can control my character here. Yeah, I can. Cool. So I'm going to just turn on the collision boxes real quick, just make things a little more obvious what's going on. So, if I do my special attack click here, right, you see they're in the grab reaction. This is just the image I made for the grab reaction. Let's make that bigger. So, let me execute this and... is that the right reaction? No, it's normal attack, sorry. So that didn't come out correctly. Let's see. Yep, there we go. It's kind of hard to time this sometimes. Okay, so if I press up, and we can see this here on the second controller, and start jumping, I get grabbed out of the air like that. This is not really what we want, right? Most fighting games don't work that way. And then you get a bunch of weird behavior that you don't expect because the physics are still ticking. That's another issue that we can get around to, but the primary issue is you can throw characters out of the air, right? Using a ground throw. Most fighting games will not let you do this, and for a good reason. So, I mean, we could discuss those reasons, right? You know, you don't want to be you don't want throws to be, first of all, be so strong that they both break guard and prevent you from getting out of the way of the throw through movement actions, right? So most fighting games will let you jump out of a throw. So that's one issue. So one thing we could do is we could put a condition on preventing throws from triggering if the player is currently jumping. Like most fighting games have a jumping state where they're still on the ground. It's like a jump startup, right? And that's commonly what it's referred to. Yeah, and also if they're in the air, you don't want to hit them. The other issue is we're currently using hitboxes to trigger throws, which can be fine, right? That gives you a little bit of flexibility on the attacker side to set how far your throw is. But the issue is we're using the vulnerable boxes on the enemy side to determine where they're actually throwable. Which, if all the characters are the same size, basically, and have the same width of vulnerable box, that could just be okay. But, like, imagine games with very, very large characters and very, very skinny characters. Well, large characters would be much more vulnerable to throws from a much farther distance, right? So that's a big problem, for one. So one strategy fighting games will take is they'll use the like physical boundary box, we refer to normally as a push box, OCI box in Japanese, but it's kind of the mutual push away from each other box. Often they will use that, and if an attack overlaps with that, then it'll trigger. Or alternatively, you wouldn't use an attack box, maybe. You would use just a distance from the center of both players. So if the distance from both players overlap, right, then, so for example, you say this throw has, I don't know, 10 units, and you're 5 units distance away from your opponent, then the throw would trigger, basically. That's if you use the center line. So that's one strategy you could take. And I think probably even, I think Super Turbo uses this strategy, like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, maybe all the Street Fighter 2s do this as well. I'm not sure. They will actually use a distance check. And as kind of a first step, I think that's what I want to take. So we need to add a new collision phase in our collision processor to support that. Instead of like checking collision boxes, we'll just check distances. And we will basically then trigger the reaction, right? If there's like what my current strategy is to add a list of throw collisions. You know, say, okay, this character is this close to the other character, then trigger the throw. And what we'll do is not have an attack box on the throw, and just say the this action is now a throw for these frames, right? And for the most part, games will only have one frame for the throw. So we'll do that. I hope this makes sense. I'm just talking through these problems. This is one strategy to support throws. There are many, right? We could stick with the collision box paradigm. But we also could say, hey, collision box overlapping the center line of the character, which would solve that problem of distance varying per enemy type. Though there is an issue that still occurs if you use a center line like that, which is if you do have wider characters with wider push boxes, then you get a situation where if they're so wide, maybe your throw won't actually hit. So maybe that solution isn't the best. Maybe the best solution is not over the center line of the character. Maybe it's you overlap over the push box. So you reuse the push box, and I think I mentioned this before. Some games do this. You reuse the push box as kind of the vulnerable box for a throw, right? And so that better represents the width of a character in most cases. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe you want a unique throwable box on the character, right? That's like their throw distance. And you know, if we're taking the strategy saying, if we're only talking about ground, then we don't really need a whole box. We just need a width, right? We just need a distance from the center line of the character. Is like, okay, the character is like this distance throwable, and it can vary per character. That's kind of a simpler solution. And we could say on a throw, okay, this throw has this range or whatever from the character's center line. And we can compare those distances, right? We can say if the sum of those distances, sorry, so if the distance from this character and that character is less than the sum of those distances, right? Then obviously the throw hit. I hope that makes sense, right? I can even draw a picture, right? Where's our little diagram here? I think we had one other day. What is it called? Excalibur? Does it remember? Okay, yeah. So we could like copy our little box guys here, right? So I just want to demonstrate what I'm talking about here real quick, because I think it's worth talking through this stuff. And this is kind of why I've made this stream, is so that I can record this kind of knowledge for future purposes. So let's draw a little center line here. I have to make sense. That's the best one to do. Let's do a little center line. Happy little center line. Okay, it's not perfect, but can I get a shift? Yeah, I get a shift here. Happy little center line. Happy little center line. Let's just copy that. I think that's the best strategy to go for. Let's copy it here. And so we have happy little center line. It's kind of curved here. I don't know why it's curved here. Woo. Anyway, happy little center line. And let's say the throw, we can represent here by is there a bracket? I would love to have a bracket here. Yeah, we'll just use a line. So is that too skinny? Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's say something like this. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. Let's make it a colorful stroke. There. Too skinny. Let's make it thicker. Okay. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to change you. I want to make a new one. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. So let's just say the attack. Oh, yeah. Sorry if my voice is. I lose my voice because allergies, coughing all night and stuff. So let's say that's the range of the brain not working. Let's just say our attack range is 10 units or whatever. Units just being distance, right? Let's just say 10 units for this. And then let's say our throwable range. Don't do that one here. Do this. Let's get a nice green. Let's say, I don't know, our throwable range is something like this. Let's say that's 5 units. Maybe it's 3. Say 4. It doesn't really matter. It's shorter than the other one, so that's important. 4 units. Okay. And let's just say right now, this distance, let's say this distance here, let's say this is 30 units. Just, again, spitballing here. Let's just copy this grabber thing. Grabby. Where's our grabby? Okay, again, grabby. Okay, so we have this scenario here where throw whiffs, right? So let's just say throw whiff scenario. There we go. Okay, it whiffs because the sum of these, right, is less than the distance. So the distance is greater than the sum of these, right? But we can also imagine this throw hit scenario. Ooh. I'll just say grab again, because I'm trying to be consistent with the naming. So grab hit scenario. Grab hit scenario. I'm sorry if this is super basic, but I think it's worth doing for a lot of reasons. Because I like to think about this stuff very carefully, you know. So we want a distance that's less than 14, right? So let's say 10. And now let's move all this here. Ooh. What thing you do is, oops, I don't want to do that. So let's say, we do that, just kind of like this. Let's move this bar up here so it's easier to see what's going on. So, we can see there's overlap here, right? Oof. And the distance between the enemy players, it's going to be something 10 plus something, so let's say 13. 12. Let's say 12 units. Right? Well, hold on, move this up a little bit. That's clear. So 12 units obviously is less than 12 units is less than 14 unit 10 plus 4 units. So it works, right? And obviously 30 units. I'm just doing, I don't know why I'm doing basic math for algebra for you guys. Basic arithmetic even. But yeah, I mean that's just the idea, right? There we go. So yeah, there we are at, just conceptually. That's fun, right? Let me just save. I'll save this later. But cool. So I think we're going to implement something like that in our collision processor. So we'll have like a different phase that's like a grab collision check, right? As opposed to our normal hit collision checks. But we'll also need to check to see if the characters are both on the ground. We can do that here in a bit. But any questions about that stuff? Again, spending 20 minutes talking about the concept of this stuff instead of programming, but I think it's worth going through. Again, kind of the purpose of these streams is to explore those ideas and verify them bit by bit by bit. So in the future, I can come back to this and be like, oh, okay, this is what I was thinking. Again, there's many different ways to implement throws, and they both have their trade-offs. But we're going to start with this strategy because it's kind of like more classic. So the first thing we actually have to do is give like a throwable distance to the character, right? So that means we're going to modify their character, the asset data. Currently, we don't have a property like that, but let's just go to our character properties. Oh, character properties. Okay, so we have like a default push box, right? And it's kind of where we want to have this. So this is say throw or grabable distance. Let's say this is called grabable distance, right? We want that to just be an I32. It could just be unsigned because it's just a distance, but let's just make a default value. Okay, and I forget like what our units were, 1,000 per whatever. So let's just say, oh man, I don't even know what would be a good distance for. What are like push box distance right here? Let's check what our let's check what our character's default push box size is right now. Test char default push. Yeah, so it's like left and right. So it's about 50,000 units. It's 5,000, 5,000. Yeah. Sorry, 50,000, right? Or my brain going crazy. So let's make it about the same size as our push boxes. So let's just make the default this. Really, and then we can adjust per character at some point. So not only do we need to have this grabbable distance, right? We need some kind of like indicator of it. There's like an isGrab on the hit property, right? And so for hit properties, currently we can have actually hit properties without so we can have these attack properties, and attack properties have hitboxes, but we can have no hitbox, right? So one thing we can do is we could pull the range from the hitbox, as opposed to say having like a specific value for a throw, right? It makes it less intuitive in the sense that designer could set the hitbox to any height and any distance, and it will still hit. I'm kind of on a mixed bag on this, but just for our purposes, we're just going to add an additional property, grab distance, right? Grab distance. Still my, let's see. Hold on a second. I hear something. Okay, stop. Good. Okay, I think that was my washing machine. Anyway, so yeah, so let's say grab distance is default 0. So we have that, and hopefully if we run the game here, we can save out the properties and see the grab distance and the grabbable distance. Okay. So go ahead and just save out this character. I don't want the save button's at the very bottom. It should be at the top. I will change that here in a second. So we have in our change list, we should have this change. And we have grabbable distance and grab distance. Cool. That is what we expect. So now we can add the collision check just for those. And we also have to just get ahead of ourselves a little bit before I forget. Honestly, that's why. So right now we have the special set to actually throw, right? I really should make another attack, but we can always revert these changes and da-da-da-da. We have the special here. Where's our throw properties? Actually, why am I even doing it here? We have, we literally have the editor. That's why the editor's here, right? So, okay, gonna open that up. We can look at the special. Is grab distance. Okay, so we know that the grabbable distance on the character is 50,000 units. So we could be less than that, right? We could be less than that distance. We maybe even want to make it much shorter, right? But yeah, let's just see for the time being. Let's just make it 25,000. Okay, so half the distance of the grabbable distance. Okay, let's save that out. I'm just going to verify this stuff as much as I can for the time being. In the future, there's so much more we could do with these like optional properties and assets and stuff, but this is, again, mostly an educational stream, and I want to focus on the things that are at hand and not the things that are not. Okay, so what do we got in here? Okay, so we got that. Now we have all the data set up in place. We could add visualizations. Yeah. So one issue though is because hit properties are currently they're not set on like a timeline. They are straight up like on every action. The only thing um, preventing them from throwing, sorry, preventing them from not hitting every frame is the fact that there's collision boxes. So, kind of reviewing what I just did here, grab distance. Maybe we'll do something different here. Maybe not put it on the hit property. Let's just say, okay, say, one thing we could do is say, instead of having like a normal hit property on the attack properties, we could have like a grab property, right? We could have a grab property on our action instead. So we have this attack property. Let's make a grab property instead that has a specific range. So let's try that. Let's make a grab property, and this also can kind of demonstrate how flexible our asset system is. Well, not asset, but yeah, our property system that we've put together. So what we want to have is, first of all, we want to, and also we can get rid of this is grab bool as well, but we'll get back to that. So we could have so start frame. We can start frame 0. And we want to i32. Wow, I'm typing C now. Yeah, so n32, end frame. This just tells us the range when this is active. Actually, I want to be consistent here. What do we do with hitboxes? Hitbox group. Hitbox group. We have a start. Oh, it's like this. We have a start frame and duration. Okay, we'll do that instead. That's kind of our standard way of handling durations. Sorry, active frames. And again, I'm not being consistent with the naming scheme, but I'll just stay here. I'm not doing snake case or whatever. Was snake case snake case is like camel case without the initial capital, right? Don't remember. Anyway, so let's call this grab distance equals, again, let's just make default 0, and we can adjust it in the properties themselves. Okay, what's the issue here? Tuple field has a name. I don't know why it's complaining about this. What am I looking at? What am I missing? We shouldn't have to knit this because there's no dynamic memory we need. Oh, there we go. It needs to be i32, right? Okay, there we go. And what we're going to do is in our action properties, we have these we have a single attack property. I should be able to do a standard array list. Let's see if let's just help. Let's see if this works. Okay, so let's just say grab properties. Grab property. And I need to initialize it. I think maybe. Oh yeah, I think I'll have to initialize it because it's a standard. It's an array list. Alrighty, so let's say dot grab properties. Okay, hopefully that just works. Let's double check that. Oh, I called it grab properties. Didn't I not call it grab properties? What? It is grab property. Oh, I see what I messed up here. It needs to be a standard array list. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Ooh. Array list. There we go. So we can have more than one grab property now too, which could be useful. But it's one way for us to have it like not being assigned. We could make it optional too if we want to like enforce just a single grab property, but I don't think I support optionals in our standard array. In our asset. So that's something you have to maybe get to in the future. Okay, so we have that, and maybe we can edit it now. Let me close out this real quick and run the game. Maybe we can edit the grab property in our editor. If everything is set up like the way I hope it is, it should just kind of work. Okay. So first thing I want to do is actually execute it here in the game. Pause, open it up, look at our thing. We have our hitbox group, pushbox groups, grab properties. Okay, so we have a grab property. Start frame duration. We could actually edit this, but let's just say it's 4 frames for the time being. And grab distance, let's say it's let's see, again 25,000, I guess. 25,000, is that right? Did I say 2,500 before? 25,000 is what I really wanted to do, I think. 25 pixels basically. Maybe it's too short, but we'll see. Because I think I have 1,000 units per pixel. Okay, and this is to verify everything's saved out correctly. Let's look at the changes to this. Grab properties. Yes. Do we have there we go. Yep. So it looks like it's serialized out correctly. This is the nice thing about Zig, really, that comp time stuff makes it so easy to build these kind of tools. I'm really in love. So we start the game, make sure everything is kosher and nice. Okay. So we have this attack. Sweet. Okay. And one thing we could do is also just update that data real quick. We can remove that hit property right on this. And so we currently have what? Okay, we have the vulnerable blocks groups, it's fine. Attack property, yeah, we have attack properties right here. I'm gonna get rid of the, where is it at? Okay, hit properties there. So we can't get rid of the hit properties, but we can get rid of the hitbox group, right? So we can do that and save. Go back here, look at our changes. Special. There we go. And if we zoom on here, yep, we got rid of that. Cool. So we'll no longer use the hitboxes for this attack, for our purposes currently. Okay, so now we're down to the actual implementations. Now that our data is set up, we need to open up their collision system. And we have what are our functions here in our systems? I think we have a execute function, right? In our execute function, the first thing we do is pre-process step, generate all the hitboxes for collisions. So that's and then we have a collision phase. We need another phase that's for throws. So, and we want to generate a throw event, kind of like we hit event, or maybe the hit event will include a throw flag or something. That's one way we could do it. There's like two possible strategies here that are obvious. Just kind of reiterate, we could have in our hit event, we could have a throw a flag that indicates that the kind of collision was a throw, so that we say, okay, we can perform the throw reaction, or sorry, or we can have like a separate list of events. I don't know. I'm trying to stick with the hit event and see if that's good enough for us. Get some water here. Allergies. Pollen here is still crazy. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, so kind of like, I don't think we need to have a full like pre-processing step to generate throw events. Really, all we need to do is check to see if well, one thing we could do is we can go through and find all the throwers and like kind of create a struct that like has their distance and their location. That's kind of like one way to cache it really quickly. And then process all the potential grabbers and the grabbies. Then we can loop over all the grabbies and see if they're throwable. Obviously, we only have two characters right now, right? We don't have multiple throws, but we try to write these things kind of generically and just in a way that if we have more than one character, things would just work. Yes. So, we still have this old style iterator here. You know what? I think, hold on. I'm going to make a new function here. This is called throw collision phase, real quick. Throw, grab collision. Man, again, phrase. I I'm just not like, I need to be really better consistent with these naming conventions. I'm going to try to stick to what the file has, and in the future I'm going to go through here and make everything consistent project wide. Okay. I want to follow the Zig standard. That's really what I want to do. Okay. My brain is just still set and doing like my daily work is mostly in Unreal, so I try to follow the Unreal coding conventions. All right. Okay, so we need to iterate on all the characters. So I'm not gonna like do what I mentioned before, where I cache all the throwers and then iterate on all the throwees. I'm just gonna like go. This is the least cache efficient, but unlike attacks and vulnerable boxes, there isn't going to be a lot of them. So I don't really need to efficiently loop over all like potential attack boxes and the vulnerable boxes. It's just going to be very, very simple here. So I'm just going to like loop over all the characters and then all the other characters and see if they're the same character, and if not, check for throws, right? And then we can add our throw. We can either add conditions there to prevent throws from coming out, or we can add conditions elsewhere after the event is set. Maybe in the reaction system we check for those conditions. I don't know. These days I tend to want to move stuff out of the collision processor, our collision systems, and use it basically kind of as pure collision checks, and then elsewhere handle like the conditional stuff. I think that makes things much cleaner and limits the scope of you don't have like this conditional stuff all over your code base, right? And you're like, why did the thing not transition here? Well, this part in this code was checking this thing, and I think when it comes to like a hit reaction system, you kind of want to have all the conditionals there in place. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Whole explanation there was okay. I think we have the gather phase here, right? I'm gonna do something similar to gather phase here. So we don't actually need this anymore. Like we can use a for loop. So going back to our new grab collision phase. So we're gonna loop over the current state machine. I think that's what we want to do. We're gonna loop over the current state machine. Components, yes. So let's do that. Let's look for the state machine component. So I think we could do. What is the current syntax for it? What is the for loop syntax for? I want to. Let me see what the syntax is. So I might have used it so far. I didn't put it in my Zig notes. I should put it in my Zig notes. Hey. Okay. Zig notes. Did I put in my Zig notes? Did not. Okay. Remind myself the syntax for the new for loop stuff. Give me the for loop. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have items in the list, and we can ignore the items, right? And just get like the list, the index of it. That's great. I think that's kind of what I want to do. So again, whoops, we can do for this, and then capture, ignore that, give it index. Well, actually, we probably want to have the state machine component, to be honest. But state machine, we have the index, and I'm not using the index. I was complaining about that. Extra capture. Oh, so I have to do this? Is that what it was? 0 dot dot dot. There we go. Dot dot. Okay. That's cool. Coolio. And now we also want to get the physics component, right? So let's say grabber state machine. That's cool. And then constant grabber physics. That's going to be equal to the game state dot Physics components, yeah. And the index, okay. Or we can say entity. I think we use the entity keyword elsewhere. So let's just say entity to be the index. Okay, that sounds good. So we need those two things for sure, because we need the location and we need the current state. And then we're going to have to get the properties of that state, that action, from our asset. And that's a kind of common thing we've done before. So we have to do something like this again. So it's like, well, let's see if all this stuff, find action. So we have to copy all this. And I need to streamline this stuff in the future. Close all this stuff. So let's streamline all this eventually. So actually we'll use physics later. So I'm gonna put this down here. I know I'll need it. Because I need the location, right? I probably don't need anything else, but I'm just gonna grab the whole physics for now. So we'll get the and let's say grabber entity. Grabber entity. Whoa, what is it doing here? I don't like that at all. Oh, there we go. Okay, grabber entity. So we got the state. And oops, grabber entity. We don't actually need to do this. We just need to do, because we have the state machine. And we got the current state. Let's get grabber current state. Got that. Grabber current state. Wow, grabber. Let's just say grabber state. Easiest thing to do. Grabber state. Grabber action name. Grabber action name. Looks all good. So we got the action name here. Sweet. Is this all for one throw? I mean, if we only have one throw, you know. But yeah, pretty much. Again, this is all like recording. What we're doing right now is just kind of like technical details of implementation. It's not, the important part is the concept, right? The implementation details, that's just, you know, technicalities. So this is just the part that's just kind of like automatic after we figured out the concept. And how you implement it comes down to the language you use, what your trade-offs are, constraint-wise. Yeah. So character assets, attacker index. Okay, that's going to be the, what's that game data here? Yes, I thought I passed that in. Okay, that's right. Yeah, we need to check this too, right? If the game data is invalid, none of this works, right? So let's just go ahead and say, if, because this is optional, right? And I probably shouldn't have, I probably shouldn't have written in such a way that you need to check this everywhere. But hindsight is 2020, y'all. We can fix it in the future. You can always fix it in the future. But it's nice to catch these kind of things where you're frequently using it all the time, right? So you can improve the ergonomics of your code base early as possible. Okay, so because again, like this, I should just write a utility function that does all this work. Oh man. Coolio. How are we doing on time? Okay, we got 15 minutes. I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it to testing this part of the throw stuff. So okay, we got the assets, action maps, action name. We need the grabber action name, and I might break this out into utility functions later. And so we're not gonna append the hip events yet. Let's just comment that out for the time being, because we still need to loop over We need to do the same thing we just did here, right? But for all the vulnerable characters, which is annoying. So maybe I'll just go ahead and break this out. Um, break this out uh, for our character. Maybe. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, let's just say function get action, and we can name this whatever we want to in a bit, and we're just going to put in the body and figure out the parameters here in a second. Right? Oh, that's not going to syntax. So what we want to return is, what do we want to return? We want to return a optional pointer to action property. So, whoops, because we want to get the properties, right? What is it? Is it, I think it's character data dot action properties. Yeah, that's what we want. So actually, let's name this grab action because, yeah, I'm just gonna be grab action like that. Because I really shouldn't be naming these functions using the underbars. Okay, let's see. So what do I do here? Make sure everything here is good. Again, our code is like find action. I want to go to here real quick. Characters. And we can just return null, right? That's great. Okay, because null is the thing you return if you can't find it. So return null. Okay, there we go. So if you find the action, we want to return it, right? So, okay. So this is cool. So we don't even need to do this. We just need to do return. Return this bad boy. Return this bad boy. Okay. And then can I do this to like simplify? I'm just gonna put that there. Can I do this? Is that like a valid Zig thing to do? Put a comment at the end even though there's no more properties, so this is more readable. Okay. So yeah. What I want to do is we need to pass in the state machine. Yes. So I think we want to pass in the state machine component. Pass in. Why did I have int from enum? Grabber state. Oh, we could have this as well. Okay. Let's pass in the game state as well. No, don't need to do that because we really have the state machine here, right? That's cool. State machine component is what I want to say. So first of all, state machine component is going to be state machine. I think it's like game state dot state machine. Where do we? Or is that in the state machine code? Where is our state machine component? State machine component. Oh, it's in our components, I think. No. Where's the state machine? That's in. Oh yes, game state. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. I really wish that was Okay, so we at least need the state machine component. So we don't need that. State machine component. Gives the current state. No. Okay, there we go. Go through here. Then we find the action. The action. So we need to have the game data as well, don't we? Okay. Let's pass in the game data. Game data is game state dot game data. Is that it? I don't remember. Where's our game data. Not date. Not game state. Game data. That's in our game state, right? Okay, that's good. That's cool. So that's where that is. Okay, so we're going to pass in the game data statement, and we're going to return optional action properties, right? And the only thing we're missing here is action maps items. So we have to pass in the entity index as well. We could do a lot more of this. Probably could just get all this stuff using the entity index instead of passing this. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So what we're gonna do? Blah 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 blah. I hate functions. They're for this mixed levels of abstraction. Mixed level of abstraction in your utility function is kind of a pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do here is say const this equals. It won't be the game data. It'll be the game state. So let's change this to the game state. I got it. I got what we're doing now. Okay. So we're not going to pass in any of this. We're just going to pass in entity. Okay. So entity, I think it's usize. I forget. If it's not, forgive me. And then we need the game state. Alrighty. And then we could do, first of all, we could do if game state dot game data. And then we get game data. Okay. Because it's optional. Alrighty. We have that. I don't know why it's being a pain in the booty. Okay, and then it's going to equal our game state dot state machine components dot entity. It's cool. It's all working there. Say entity here. Otherwise, return null. Very end. Cool. I think that's. Why did I call it grab action? It's kind of true, but I want to get action properties. Okay, got it. Grab action. Okay, so a lot of the stuff should fall out of the way. Blah 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 blah. Because really, what we want is thingamajig. Nah. So I don't think we need most of this now. So first of all, we can do if grabber entity. So we need the grabber entity and the game state. So if we can get action grabber action properties. Let's say properties. If that's true. We're going to get the properties here. If we can do that, that's going to be great. And then we'll have to do something similar. We're like loop through all this stuff. I don't even think we need this. We'll see. I don't think we need it. You know what? Since we don't need it, don't know if I need it yet, so we'll do that. It's fine. So we're going to do something similar now. If we can get the action properties, we can now loop over the next. We can loop over through this again, first of all, and we need to check to see if the entity is the same. We'll with that here. So let's see other, because grab and grabber is kind of, you can make a mistake really easily with that. So let's see. Why do I have this? Okay. So oh my lordy, whoa. Okay. So if other, so that's first of all, let's do if other equals grabber entity. Oh, other entity equals grabber entity. Okay, if other entity equals grabber entity, we continue. So we skip over the rest of the stuff that's down here. And then we do a similar thing where we get action, right? So we'll do this. Get action, other entity. There we go. That should be what we want there. We don't want grabber action properties. We want other action properties. Oops. And we're actually going to, I don't know if we're going to use this or not. Do we even need to get action properties? Actually, no. For now, we don't care. We don't care. We just need to get their character properties. That's fine. We just want to do like a distance check, right? We don't really care about the properties at the moment. In the future, we might need to add some kind of conditionals here. But anyway, okay, yeah. We also need to loop over all the grab. So we need to loop over, first of all, we need to loop over the grab properties. Let's loop over the grab properties. Okay, for what's our thing? For what is our grapper? Grapper. Okay, no grabber. Grabber action properties. No. Grabber action properties. For grabber action properties, grabber property. That's what we want. We're not using it, right? And then if grabber. Okay, so if grabber property dot start frame is greater than, we have to get the current frame, right? Don't, is this state machine? Double check where that is. Where's that animation? Hold on. I know we're gonna get that somewhere. Yeah, it's not here. Okay, what is that? This to for grabber. Grab properties. I'm getting hungry here. Let's see if I can finish this. It's active frame. No. We want to add this. Grab property, and this should all work because it's similar to the other thing. So, yep, so we don't have to do this anything else. So, is active on frame, and then we need to get the current frame. Was current frame? Frames elapsed. What do we do about that? Where does the frames elapsed come from? Hold on. Timeline. So where's the timeline come from? It's been a while since I used this. So we need to get the timeline component. Fair enough. Okay. So get the timeline component. Timeline. That makes sense, but it's not the entity. It's the attacker grabber entity. And actually, we can just say, screw all this. Put it here. Don't care about that. We just do frames elapsed. There we go. Okay. So frames elapsed since the start of the action. That's what that means. Yeah, in the future we might want to have an action frame specifically instead of the frames elapsed because that might be ambiguous if you have hit stop and stuff. But for the time being, we'll leave that as is. Yeah, so we don't actually need the other state machine for now. We're just going to ignore that property. Okay. So if it's active on the current frame, just for test purposes, we're not going to do a distance check, and then we're going to actually push a hit event. That's a throw. Okay. We don't need this as well. We'll get back to this, but we'll grab it here in a second, and then I want to see if things work as it is here, and I think we don't use a grabber state machine. No, we don't use it either. Okay, let's ignore that for now. We could use any of the other components to iterate on this stuff, but you kind of think of like a database. You pull down a table and then maybe do a left join or something like that. This is kind of like the maybe way of thinking of the data-oriented approach stuff, but we'll get back here. We don't need a collision system as well. Well, we don't do any collisions. No, we will need a collision system because we need to push a hit event. Hit event dot append. Yeah, that's what you want. So we need to push a hit event. So currently, well, I'll show you here in a second. So the first thing I want to do is say, hey, okay, we're going to push a hit event, but we kind of need an empty hit property, right? We don't really care about this hit properties at the moment. So we're just going to make an empty hit property. I think maybe it was grab. Is grab equals true, right? Everything else we don't really care about. I think that's, so we make an empty hit property. This is grab is true. Everything else got ignored. This is something already hooked up before. So we know the attacker ID is the grabber entity. The Defender ID is the other entity. I think we're getting close to finishing this, by the way, for today. Anyway, there's a lot more to do with conditional stuff, but yeah, grabber entity, other entity, and then we should be good. We're not using. Oh, we're still not using collision system at all. I guess we don't need it. So let's go ahead and call the collision phase. Sorry, grabber phase. And we're gonna call it before the collision phase. Try. Oof. Self done. And game state. Okay, there we go. Actually, we don't even need a self on this, to be honest, because we're not calling. Yeah, we don't even need that. So there we go. Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna build. Probably won't, but let's give it a shot. And we can test to see if the throw triggers. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. After all that code, I wasn't expecting it just to work. It's not indexable and not a range. Okay. Yeah, what do we do here? Ooh, for grabber action properties, what did I do here? Oh, I'm sorry. What did I do? Get, oh. That's right. I should do grab properties. That's right. That's right. Okay. Next error, type array list, is not indexable and not a range. Really? Same thing? Oh. Duh. Forget. Items is an array list. I have to actually get the array from the array list. Okay. Expected type usize got found constuate. Where's that at? What did I do here? What did I do? I called it somewhere. Get action properties. What did I do? Okay. Auto. Oh. Wait. It's inside this thing? Inside the thing? Oh, okay. Yeah. Grabber action name. Why was it like this? Find action. Well, that should be here. That's correct here. Why was it like this? Oh, it shouldn't. No. It should be grabber and it should be entity. That's why I forgot. Okay, it should be entity here. I think that's correct. No, it's not correct. I don't know if this thing is still saying that. Oh, I guess it is correct. Oh, the dreaded crash here. Okay, what did I do? This doesn't contain the entity. What is the entity? Entity's number 2. What did I do? Why is there a 2? Is there more than... Oh. I see. I initialize state mentioning component to something more than 2. Ah. Hold on for a second. Let me do... what do we initialize this at? We initialize this somewhere. Not like that. Is there like a .init that we do? No, we don't do that. I always forget how we set up these components. Let me see. State machine components. Oh. It's just an array with set max entities. Oh, we're just not using. Okay, sorry. What I should be doing actually is entity count, which is stored in there. So that's what we can do. So make sure that's what we want, because I pre-allocated that stuff. Okay. Since we go up to, is it? I think this is correct. Game state dot entity count -1. Can I do that? Is it gonna be happy about that? I don't know. I think that would be correct. And then up to there. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Or the debugger still going? No, we're running. I think we're running. Are you running? Let's go. No, what did I mess up? Bonk. What? What's the issue here? So other entity is 1. That's correct. Grabber entity is wrong. Woo! What is this value here? What the heck is going on there? What the heck? What are we even doing here? Is it because something with the this U size? Okay. Blah 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 blah. 8. This may be just junk though, right here. I don't know. I don't know if that's just junk or what. Why? So, why am I getting a panic? What are you getting a panic for? Panic during a panic. What? Panic during a panic. Okay, let's just... man. What is the for loop syntax again? Sum to equal 10. So, 0 plus 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 4. 4, 7. Oh. Wait, 2 plus... what? 1, 2, 3. What the heck? 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2, 9. Okay, so it goes up to 5, but doesn't include 5. Got it. There we go. Okay. Oh no, I did this. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I know. So hold on. Hold on to your horses. 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Wait, 4 and 4. 4 and 4. Okay. Got it. Still. What the heck? I'm getting junk for grabber entity 0. What is that? What is that about? Can I just like ignore? Can I just do a for loop that's just like 4 0? Can't? Oh, you can. You can do that. Okay, I don't even need to do this. I can get rid of this entirely. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friend. Okay, maybe that will clear up some things with this capture. I don't know. Messing around with Zig. Doing things with Zig. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Run the game. Whoa, I don't know how people stream more than an hour. I did like 2 before. Okay. That's fantastic. So now can I throw anywhere? No, it's not triggering. No, I thought it would trigger. Or do we have a grab on that, actually? Let's double check. Let's check our grab. No hitboxes. Oh, I thought we... those vulnerable boxes. Hit properties. No hitbox groups. Is grab. Yeah, I don't care about that property, actually. Grab properties. From 0 to 4. Grab distance. We're ignoring grab distance, so it should just work. Maybe. What are we missing? What did I forget? Well, we can set a breakpoint, actually. So how far did we get down here? Do we get down to here? We do. So that means there is a grab property. Grabber property. 0 to 4. Okay, it makes sense. Oh, it's just that we're not checking to see if the frame is active or not. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, we do hit here. Oh. Okay. Then maybe it's in the reaction system? Well, that's a thing. Okay. grab? Is grab, because we did support this. Oh, is it what we're... Oh, I think we're clearing out the hit events. I think that's what's happening. Ah, yeah. We're clearing the hit events after we actually add to it. So let me change where that is at. I think that's what's going on. Where are we at? Okay, hit events dot shrink retaining capacity, maybe append. No. Oh yeah, because in collision. Okay, yeah. So let's move this out of this, and collision phase. Yeah, let's do it up here. Clear hit events. There we go. Oop, I don't even need to do that. Now I think we should work. And then this will be it. If it works, we'll start adding the conditional stuff later. The distance check later. It's not that big of a deal, but oop, we got that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Cool. All right. So next time we'll get to all of the detailed conditional stuff for triggering throws. Now that we've implemented a throw specific collision event, basically a check anyway. I hope that was informative. A little roundabout, but there we are. Anyway, yeah, thank you all for coming back to the stream. Gonna be heading out here, give myself some lunch. Hope you all have a good evening out there in the States. You're in Europe. Well, don't know what time. I have no clue. early morning time. Anyway, until next time, y'all. See ya. Peace.